So now we move to the first panel, and I would like to welcome and invite my good friend Chandrakanth BN, who is the chairman of Pairee Group. And Pairee Group has multiple businesses. It's into the digital space, it's into training and coaching, it's into manufacturing, it's also exporting specialized products to the European, to the US and Australian market. And Chandrakanth has also been the chairman of the Indo-American Chamber of Commerce, so he brings that wonderful vast array of experience. He was also the president or secretary of the Returned NRI group in India, which we call RNRI. So he has been in the US, worked in the US, built a company called Theorem in Mysore, which is today they say second tier city, and another city that's the government aims to grow. And he went there when nobody went there, and he grew it to a large number of employees, almost 3,000 or more in a very short time. So very delighted to have Chandrakanth to come and give the opening brief for the panel. And this first panel is Agri-Tech, Prop-Tech and Space Tech. And with this, let's give a big round of applause and welcome Chandrakanth.
Good morning. It's great to be here. Thanks, Jose, for that wonderful introduction, as always. I'm coming back to the India Advantage Summit after a break of 1 year. I attended this 2 years ago, and it's really great to be here. And I always say this, being a business guy, always focused on my business, I never paid attention to climate change and sustainability. That never crossed my mind. Being here, the first time I came was because of Jose, and being here in this summit 2 years ago, I heard a keynote from Jan, who is here, and that kind of changed my whole mind and opinion about sustainability and climate change. That was such a phenomenal presentation, and listening to others like Dr. Lehman and many other presentations those 2 days was a big change for me, and a shift in my thinking. Since then, I've been involved in so many projects around sustainability and been part of so many events, talks, etc., and organized myself. So it's great to be back here, and Jose and team, you guys are doing a phenomenal job, outstanding job, and congratulations to what you're doing. So what are we here for? I think we just heard that India crossed 4 trillion in a GDP. Our goal is to become 30 trillion by 2050. Now, if we have to move towards that goal, obviously we're going to, really exploit our natural resources. We are going to, impact the climate. We are going to do everything if we are just going to focus on that growth, because we have to bring our people above poverty line. So therefore, it is inevitable for us to grow. That cannot be stopped, but at the same time we have a net zero commitment by 2070. Now, how are we going to balance both? The only way we can balance both, I think, for Indians and India is our technology, our startups, our entrepreneurs. I think that's the only way we can probably find that balance somewhere. Otherwise, it's going to be a bad news for this world. That's where I think the India Advantage Summit, TIA, becomes very important, because this brings together a lot of startups, a lot of thought leaders in this space, and people with technology experience, etc. So therefore, it's a phenomenal place for you to actually come, learn, and network, and make a difference in this space. Now, speaking at this event, now coming to this panel, which is going to be on prop tech, space tech, and agri tech. Why this topic? Speaking at the same event 2 years ago, I said we from Bangalore, we are spoilt. We don't have any climatic adverse climatic situations like floods, like typhoons or earthquakes, etc., etc. Just a few months later, guess what happened? I mean, you all know in the last 2 years how many times Bangalore has been flooded. And why is that? It's simply because of the uncontrolled growth that we have had in Bangalore. I'm born and raised here, and I've seen the dramatic change Bangalore has gone through. Yeah, on one side we are proud of its development, but on the other side, the uncontrolled growth and development has led to, you know, the climatic situation, the environmental destruction, and what used to be a green city with lot of water bodies and lakes is today just concrete. So prop tech, you know, one of the fastest growing industry in India is construction, and if you think about just cities, right? I mean, 2% of the Earth's surface is cities, and it consumes over 78% of the world's energy, and 60% of all greenhouse emissions come from cities. By 2050, about 68% of the global population is expected to live in cities, and just in India itself, we expect more than half the population to be living in cities. And these are scary numbers. Therefore, you know, prop tech takes center stage in the sense, if we don't think about sustainable means of building, using green, you know, using sort of green building design, eco-friendly construction, solar power, rainwater harvesting, waste management, etc., we are in trouble. So therefore, prop tech, technology around property and, you know, how do we construct becomes very, very important. The other one we're going to talk about is space. A lot of times it's underestimated, undervalued. A lot of people question the amount of money that is put into space. Of course, we are all proud of ISRO because of Chandrayaan 3, etc. And I've had the fortune of being close to a former chairman of ISRO and traveling with him extensively. And he used to always tell this one story about why space is, you know, so important. Fishermen in Bangalore used to go out in the sea with their trawlers, with their boats, and spend a lot of time looking for fish all around. And imagine the amount of fossil fuel these boats were burning. Now, thanks to, you know, ISRO and space tech, now they have an app on their phone where they know where the concentration of the fish are. So instead of, you know, going around and looking for fish, they directly go to where the concentration of the fish is, save a lot of fuel, and therefore, you know, not just, you know, in terms of economy, but in terms of, you know, sustainability, it's a huge value add. Similarly, space tech provides data for agriculture, you know, for better agriculture, concentration of where there's water bodies, helps with natural calamities. They're able to predict where things are, you know, when things are heading towards a disaster, and you know, help people to move away into better places, etc. So space tech is something that we cannot ignore, and looking forward to, you know, one of the panelists who's going to speak about some technology around that. Finally, agri-tech, there's a lot happening there as well. We have a panelist who's going to talk about that. AI, ML, data analytics, drones, farm automation, precision agriculture, there's many more. So again, a lot of exciting things happening in the agri-tech space. So this is going to be a fascinating panel, looking forward to it. And once again, I congratulate the TIA group for putting together this wonderful event.